There, what? Let's give that a wipe. 20th of October, Sunday. Hello. What? Hello, I'm coming for a chat. Yes. Wait there, everybody. Will be a minute. It'll just be a minute. Yes, and I'll be coming. I've got something to say about what he's got to say. Yes, what? Lunacy. Let me share the links. Good day. I'd say good rising, but it's the afternoon. Alright. I'll just put these in the usual places. Check everything's good. Yes. Alright, we put this into my forum and turn down the volume. That would help. So yes, we're going to be talking about somebody has very kindly left me this on the window, on the eyelid of the horsey. Alright, so I'd like the contents of this. Someone's funding much like Extinction Rebellion on international levels for climate change. Shout going out to Matthew in Sheffield. Climate change, let's have a system change as well, yeah, never mind climate change. So we've got this. Some opportunist has put some propaganda, politicians speak onto my horse's eyelid. Can you Adam and Eve it? We're gonna, if you've got one of these, if you've read it, if you've digested it, okay, let me just tell everybody we're having a chirp, maybe an hour. I'll try Matthew in Sheffield at the end of the cast. Updates, I've emailed and contacted just about everybody except a man called Alan, I believe, which is later today. Papillon later. Everybody else, I'm good. I've said hello. I've contacted, nudged, messaged, notified, emailed, connected via the quantum network. So stand by. Thank you. That'll ding dang do. So if you want to share it with your friends, fam, loved ones, assets, however you termify them, you know who I mean. I'd like to start off today's cast with a shout out to a brother that goes by the name of Leonard Horowitz. Okay, nothing to do with politicians, but names. The greatnesses of man, of minds. All right, when you have old chums, what are they? You know, symbology. We're not even getting to that. But yes, colours. We are ready to fight. Oh, who's fighting? We don't need to fight anymore. We've had enough of fighting. We're quite intelligent, and we can compel, wish, require, and instruct. The fighting is over, my good man. A clean break Brexit. Well, okay. Sign up as a registered supporter for 25 promises of great United Kingdom, British, Anglo, Commonwealth, deceptive, fraudulent debt notes. You can go there, look, thebrexitparty.org. We got some kind of private, oh yes, give me money, give us your money, sorry. So that's at the bottom of the page, where is there looking rather charming. Look at the colours, the layout. Why we need, do we need? I think we require what we're due. So this is going to be hysterical. Look at number 1. I will get better in a minute. We will be a sovereign, independent nation state, everyone. Will we? We will be. We'll be. I like your comments, please, on that. The European Union empowers unelected commissioners and judges to overrule our parliament. A clean break Brexit is the way to take democratic control of our laws. Democratic control, democratic, all right, that's one way of doing it. That's not the only way. Borders and money with no ifs, no buts or backstops. That's the Brexit. 17.4 million of the people voted for. Man didn't ask for this, the people did, all right, the people of the United Kingdom. Point 1. We'll be free to make deals with the world. Deals come from boats, they're deckings, you know, cut me a deal. Card dealers, boats, merchant traders, so deals. Forget the scaremongering. Oh, is there any? I don't know if there's any scaremongering. I just think there's a lot of them doing what they're told there. So about no deal, a clean break Brexit is a great opportunity to break free from the EU customs union, make trade deals, deals and trade with the world, reduce tariffs on non-EU goods and cut our cost of living. Britain can prosper as a free nation on the global stage. Let me just pin this up here so I can, there we go. Number 3, we can take control of everything from our fishing to our industry. EU rules mean we can't manage our fishing waters, really. Okay, if you say so. Who can't manage our fishing waters? In what capacity? I would beg to differ. Support strategic industries such as British Steel, or set our own tax rates. A democratic nation state needs laws passed by our representative parliament to serve the sovereign people. It actually says, there's that word again, everyone, right? Serve the sovereign people. We're neither people. We might not even be sovereign to some extent, not right at this moment while we're in the public capacity, and so forth and so on. Let's give it one of them, look, there we go. Number 4, we can retain command of our own security. I'm noting the points. First we start with sovereignty, then we start with money and deals, then we start to food and fishing and sea, and now we go to security. Britain should not, symbology, Britain should not be signed up to the growing EU defence system or their planned planned European army. We need to retain full control of our own national security and policy. I'll try and get it to get in for you. We don't want to fight wars. No, we don't. Our foreign war policy or of foreign, I forget it all now. Office of Foreign, Council of Foreign, you know the one I mean, and all them lot. We don't want to fight wars, sign treaties on somebody else's orders. Orders, eh? You're sort of admitting that there are orders given. Okay, military command, somebody else's. No, we don't. We don't want to do that at all. We don't want to fight wars on somebody else's orders. That's exactly what we're saying there. Disobedience is a must in some instances there. We can invest our money as we see it. Number 5, the 39 billion divorce bill demanded by the EU is only the start. The UK hands the billions to the EU every year. Let's invest the Brexit dividend in transport and digital infrastructure projects around Britain. We must be free to spend our money without asking anybody's permission. That's what I agree with that one. Who agrees with that bottom line there? Let's just do that. Yes, that's a good one. That's what we're saying. Exactly what we're saying. The creditors will control the credit from now on. Wow, thank you. That's the one thing I'll give a well done for. We will control the credit. Yes. Spend our money. What is money? What dictionary are you speaking from, Nigel? What's your definition of money, please? Is it intrinsically backed? Are you working on behalf of a state, of a secret shadow state? Do you know things about money and value, property, titles, access, rights, sovereignty, sins? I think you do, mate. So money, I don't think there is any money. And spending it, so I've spent enough on that. We don't need to fight. I've gone over there for you, but just to show love and respect, if you was inclined to want to give this man 25 promises of your United Kingdom pounds, and that's what you do. Let me turn it over. What we got here? So that was the positive. Here's the negative. Look, black and white colour symbols and shapes and whatnot. Oh, is grey. Why, he must not reheat Mrs May's withdrawal agreement. Why not? Let's go. What are we saying? We will be imprisoned under EU rules with no way out. Who's we'll? You, we, I, they, me. Who's we? Not the elite, not the upper echelons, not the lords and ministers, but the commoners, the have-nots will be imprisoned under EU rules, yes? Not diplomats, you can go and do what, run people over and run back to your home nation country because you're a member of with the assignment, and therefore it's all good. The Tory withdrawal agreement is not Brexit. It's the sort of surrender treaty you sign after losing a war. Even without the Irish backstop, it will leave Britain imprisoned. Oh, big bold. We're already imprisoned. We've got in London town, London city there has got the crown in it, and we already are under a stronghold. So We recognise that under the EU rules with no vote, no voice and no veto, it would be even worse than remaining in the EU. Well, they've had 3 years to sort this out, yes, lest we not forget. Does that sound like the sort of Brexit 17.4 million of you voted for? See withdrawal agreement, WA Articles 416, well, it's just a load of small print there they're referencing from. We'll be trapped in the EU customs union with no new trade deals. Oh, will we now? So the withdrawal agreement makes clear we will not be allowed to break free from the EU customs union. That means we can't do new trade deals with other countries or reduce tariffs on non-EU imports to cut our cost of living. Why shouldn't we be free to make deals with the world? That's what we're saying as well. So this looks like tribal politics here. If there is such a thing as tribal politics, you've got the two tribes going to war here. Agreement. Let me just recap on that. We can do deals with other countries, reduce tariffs. Why shouldn't we be free to make deals with the world? Transfer. Why shouldn't free? Indeed, yes. When you say free, you mean free to choose, free for cyclical consumption, free for deception, continuation with the stealing and theft of equity. Two tribes go to war. There was another title for this that I had that's just popped in and gone out again of my brain. Reference that unacceptable. Yes. Outlay. I'll just carry on. Number 3, the European Court of Justice, here we go, will still rule over it. This is on the negative page, look for scariness and whatnot. The withdrawal agreement hands the unaccountable EU courts power to interfere in every from our industrial policy to our fishing rights through an extendable transition period and far beyond. What independent democracy allows foreign judges to dictate its laws? Valid point, but we are private, in the private, under assumption and presumption of the mandated legislation that comes out of Westminster upon our persons. Now, God is not a respecter of persons. Nigel, Boris, Queen, Macron, EU, UN, as I stand here today, as God is my witness. We are not persons. We are not, to be considered. And we have voices, invoices, like an invoice from the commercial sector. All right, apology. I'm still trying to think of the office of the Council of Affairs and whatnot, but let me go on to number 4. We'll be signed up to EU military plans. Well, we're already tail hopping with America. What's going on there? And there is a regime, a war going off there. The foreign war policy that we have, just leave it at that. We've got budgets to kill, but we haven't got budgets to feed and house and give out. Let's see, zero energy, carbon emissions type, energies. These are never on the table. Health, religion, money, science. When I say religion, faith, all of the truth, the money, the education, the science, and then we've got military factions, budgets, space budgets, military budgets, war in itself. Again, God's not a respecter of persons, is even less of a respecter of a foreign war policy and, what we do when we sign up and I'm sorry about the non-focusing. What's happening here? Yeah, screenshot that. We'll be signed up to EU military plans. German Chancellor Merkel and French President Macron want a real European army. Oh, did I know? The Tory withdrawal agreement signs up the UK to be part of the EU military system and pay for it, even after we leave, with no say on strategy. Who do you think should decide if Britain goes to war? I reckon we should stop all wars, get rid of all nuclear campaigns, have a treaty like you've got in the south that we have, the world's got in the Antarctic, the south, yes, pole, and we have this treaty there, all around. We have a council and so forth, and we go private. We have to get a private voice to be heard. A bit like Extinction Rebellion with their massive amount of funding that I can only dream of, and the other suches that get these fundings for campaigns, but yet the true voice, underdogs, will always be a voice in the distance from the masses. So we'll pay the EU their 39 billion divorce bill with more money to follow. The withdrawal agreement commits the UK, that's the United Kingdom trust paper, not the landmass that UI and the FAM stand on, all right? So it commits the trust of the United Kingdom, which QE2 is the manager and the, ultimate one there, to pay the UK £39 billion, followed by billions more with no say. That looks like taxation without representation. The sort of demand democratic revolutions they're trying to say there. Look, just in case you're not happy, there's a last final bailout. Yeah, if you don't get what you want, you can have a democratic revolution. Shouldn't we be free to invest our money as we see fit? Indeed we should, and that's exactly why we do stuff like this. So if you was to be interested, there you go. Look, there's the monies at the end. Yes, I want to fight for a clean break Brexit and sign up as a registered supporter of the Brexit Party. Body corporate politics there. Return this form with a cheque for £25 or more made out to the Brexit Party in a stamped addressed on to the Brexit Party, blah blah blah. We are ready. Yes, getting you going there. We are ready. The people, the mans, they are really annoyed. Small print, any details provided will be handed in accordance with our privacy policy. Please visit blah 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 on receipt of this form. We will create a profile for you, contact you, blah blah blah. Promoted by somebody, Paul of the Oakdown clan, on behalf of the Brexit Party. The address there, printed by Printbridge, Castle Street, Cornwall. So fantastic bit of this was, just put. They're asking for revenue. Pounds off each one minimum to fund them, to continue to you, to deceive you, to embezzle you, the creditor, put you into sin by your deception, talk to you lies about money, national debt, values, where we're going. So what I'm going to do is look at your comments in a minute. Let me keep the train of thought. So with that said, there are such tremendous speakers out there. If you don't know the man called Leonard, and then HOROWITZ. And there's a video that I'm going to give you the title of now. When I search for it and find my mouse, please bear with. Secrets of 528. So you type in Dr. Leonard Horowitz. Secrets of 528. But just think of Boris and Nigel, okay, and then think of the topics and the things and the areas of which we discuss, technologies, knowledge, benefits to man. Are these men going to benefit us? Are they going to run anything successfully? This whole system change, climate change, there we go, Extinction Rebellion, and their massive funding and their unrealistic, wants for Leonard Horowitz. Secrets of 528. So this organisation here, they know that we're in a realm of disharmony. When we say cognitive dissonance, which is what a big part of this politics game and law and liabilities and debts and sin and everything is, dissonance, but resonance, we're in a resonance dissonance as well. And whilst I was skimming through non-law and legislative topics last night to escape and unwind, I like to frequent Leonard, and I went back to 528. This is the frequency cycles per second, and an amazing frequency in itself. 432 modified and modulated up to 440 hertz. This is really important because if you are a left and a right brain, and you need to think, and you need to be alert, and you need to know, and you need to be on the ball. To be on the ball, we need to be in tune, and to be in tune, you need to be in resonance with things. You need to resonate, big resonation of certain things. So resonance and dissonance are connected. Dissonance is logical, intellectual type of debased, what we are having now with the identity crisis, let alone everything else. Then the resonance is to do with the frequency and the modulation and the music that we listen to and the frequencies that has. Now, we respect the natural frequencies and the order. And these orders that they give orders for, order, Order, warrant, I give an order, I want order. What order is your order? What order number do you have? What order of sequence of events? So order is very, very interesting in itself. Solfeggio, mathematics and frequency point us to the correct truth. If there are actually 6 notes in the solfeggio plus the other 3 making a total of 9, in essence, then everything variant from that is harmonic resonance structure complete total within that 9 note frequency solfeggio compendium. Then you look at the mathematics and everything, and we realize that somehow man and where we're at now is upside down and inside out, back to front, and not resonant. The language, the science, the law, the liabilities, the money, the judiciary, the entire forward-thinking motion, notions, trust, security, safety, health, everything. So we have had a look, and we find that not only is the deception mass rife amongst all of the apparent, but this frequency is your left and your right brain unable to dither, get strong, be able to do what man has done in the past, like the strength and the greatness of this landmass at one point. We will argue that might have been we had capabilities of. We was a strong functioning family. Now we're very weak, depressed, suicidal, changing sex, confused, committing suicide, etc. We're not very strong, as you can see. Now there's a mass amount of a soft war agenda upon man. Extinction Rebellion, well done, you've picked up on quite a lot. We have to link up with these and have a chat. You've got funding, we've got answers. You're making noise, we've got no funding, you've got no answers. It doesn't seem, you've got unrealistic. So Extinction Rebellion, there's a big handout here, and I'm going to extra length to show you some of the extenuating areas of natural law, well-being, and prosperity, protection, trespass, order, liability, duties, and whatnot. So the order is phonetical. In the beginning, there was the word, all right? So we go back to that, okay? Any doubt? Phonics, all right? Phonics and the other things that I've said over the last few weeks. So we've got the left and the right out of sync. You're listening to static. And when I see Boris, and when I see these prolific, executive trustees, definitely not ambassadors, public figures there for the people, representing the nation. A nation is a military order of the divided club of Rome. We are not part of that. We object. We conscientiously don't want to fight. We don't want the battle. And when I hear these men and subsequent others, trustees, principals, executives, public, UN, macrons, fracrons, and acrons, anything, yes, I hear static. And you have been listening to static, and you don't know you've been listening to static. And here comes the beat, the rhythm, the track, the crescendo, the percussion. There's things coming in now that you've never heard before. They're in the form of trust and equity and instruments and conditional acceptance and honor and liability and duty and obligations and deception and express. There's many a thing here, and nothing is being touched upon by these. There's just a different color. They're going from blue to gray to black to white to green. Why we will tell you why. We need to get on a stage. We need to make noise, because these puppets, that's all they are. I was going to do other things and design him and make him pretty, and make him pretty. It's just henchmen, gangsters in a fashion, lies, deceit, deception, non-truths. It will only get worse. You paying for your GP's practices, you're getting chipped. The end of your liquidity as we know it. Everything will be shut down in times to come. These old laws that we have, and 1882, 1700s and whatnot, the case law, it will never go away. It will always be there for referencing. But what does need to go away is about 95% of everything you see and know and hear and believe. And half of our problem is we believe we know the right answers, and we have the correct resources to deliver that. We don't know jack. Everything is wrong. These aren't to be trusted. They are committing, I will be careful here, but malfeasance and torts upon man, and persons are making noise, and funds are being put out there privately, asking. These have got friends, right? We go out doing charity and non-profit private agreements, covenants, contracts and whatnot, yes, and these have got friends, these have got money, lots of money, extremely privileged, and they're asking for private funding, symbology, how they've done it, I can't wait for your comments. And I didn't go live last night because I'm catching up with many a thing and polishing off documents. And I wanted to be calm when I did this and not wake up the neighbours with my passion and disgust at the fear mongering and the basic propaganda, what is it, half truths and whole lies, as what he used to say back in the day. If I was to quote a brother Craig, comes from Dr. Leonard Horowitz, right? Just one name there. I haven't really mentioned him. I've mentioned Bruce Lipton, Tesla. We had Jared Morin on the other day, and Victor Schauberger. He's coming up next, and many others. The Ancient Bible Codes, DNA, and Biospiritual Warfare, a 4-hour movie. Okay, UFO TV All Access. That's a good one to watch. 4 hours. That's mostly a bit random for you, to be fair. And we've got by Leonard Horowitz again on YouTube to be found, The Real Da Vinci Code. And that's a really good chat. It's 1 hour and 31 minutes. All right. And it's called EXO 574. Leonard Horowitz, The Real Da Vinci Code. Now, this is something that you may think, what's that got to do with Out Dave? But just trust me, he's like me. He's out there, he's random, he's fragmented, but he's very, very effective. And he's older, he's got more wizardry, more experience, and amongst Noam Chomsky, Alan Watts, Napoleon Hill, the legends of the greats there that we've brought to you, amongst the hundreds of years old laws. These are fossils, relics of man that need to be put in, along with Schauberger, Royal Raymond Rife. Trust me, this is a national. Okay, if we must, then we will go in and we will do a similar, and we will propose. I don't know how and what, but worst case scenario, I've uploaded important files to the .com with regards to, in addition to the notice of removal of implied rights of access, the police borderline rule exclusively applies, and I've also put some kind of a nuclear conditional acceptance for being forced. We use the force of law, the force of law, the rule of law. Is it a rule or is it a law? So we have some agreements here, unilateral, that are yet to be finished, to be brought out of the private into the public by force, ignorance of rights, trespass, torts, sufferings, equivalents of is why I'm using that. They've gone up today. I'm enjoying the emails. I want to do a first name shout to these following sentient souls that have contacted and listened for various reasons and made effort and said hello. For many, I'll be respecting the privacy, as I've said, in total confidence, covenants, agreements, pacts, private. But Molly and Margaret, I think I want to say Shabba too. I want to say Alan, Shabba, easy now, and also to a man like you see, I put myself on the spot. I've got to remember all these names. A man like where did I go? Over there, went up to Shaky Wakey. Seen a bloke called he's on here as Eric. I'll leave it at that. Big shout to you and thank you for that. Then we've got wow, I've spoken to quite a few. Papillon, how we doing? I will get to thee later. I've said Alan, I've said Molly and Margaret, and I got some words there to say about everything. There's a varied amount of inquiries come through. Regarding property, access, protection, concerns, rights, trespass, representations, claims, liability, finances, guardianship, civil, social issues, a great varied mix here. Ultimately, each inquiry looked up upon its merits, but what we have is a great deal of wealth and resource in our accolades. So again, to Extinction Rebellion, I'm not saying it's a mandatory thing, but with everything we always say, hello, we've noticed, we've had a look at you, noise being made, some is good, some is bad, not all is great constructive there. So we're looking to expand and move. There's a great scattering of help required, assistance, information, duly informing of you, properties, assets, and requirements. So it looks like we're going to be moving, I am anyway, out into the streets, communities, making some kind of covenant here. That's the one I was going to mention. All of this going on now, with what Smith has said, me going through the various transcripts of testaments and Bibles and KJV codes and whatnot. Here we are. We need some kind of Moses character at the front, and we got some kind of Herod, Pharaoh, Caesar equivalent, all right, and we need to now lead somehow peacefully, with no blood, no vexation, malice, and what's it called, battling, fighting, what was that there, he said, fighting and whatnot. So yeah, we'd like to do the equivalent. Somebody, the trust in itself would be that somebody, the trust technology, not me, definitely not. But the fight is over. We'd like to now do the equivalent of what Moses did with the Pharaoh and lead the slaves out. I'm not saying that's not me. No, that's why the website's there. That's for anybody. Smithy, they're shouting. Yeah. Somebody together, family, invoices. So that's where we're at, that's where we're going. It's all there up for the grabs. You have your rights as man under God, woe man, womb man, and then we have legal rights and so forth. But we have to get the slaves out of where we're at. If you would like, the danger is prevalent, albeit assumptive, presumptive AI, 5G, very, very easy now for errors, databases. As we have the right to be forgotten, don't forget. That's a nice little one to remember. So yeah, we have done a lot on the .com, the files, force, protection, asset, wealth. So those that would like to look for some kind of notice of removal of implied rights of access is one. The police borderline rule applies exclusively is another. Notice of notice of conditional acceptance, non-negotiable, for when you're pulled out of the when you're forced by the force of law, the rule of law, assumptions, presumptions, etc., as we've said, from the private to the public. We don't use common law jurisdiction applies exclusively anymore because we've got equity, and that delights to do things that common law cannot. So those that want to continue with the common law and such constitutional fallacies as continue, and well done. Good luck and thank you. Bless and love as always. We go with equitable means, remedies, ways, and we use trust. And so what have we got for signs there? Notices you are deemed to be served. Oh, the most important, private property, trespass. All visitors seen strictly by appointment only. Contact, email, give, or a phone number, give. You have been deemed to be served. Private property trespass, CCTV in operation. Notice there, protect the castle. I've updated that kind of stuff. I've sent emails out with that kind of stuff, saying where it is, what you do, and how you do it within your rights, acknowledging your rights and learning your rights, because you can't defend your rights if you rely on somebody else from the Law Society to tell you. You shouldn't rely on me to tell you. Do not believe me. I am an idiot, and you must double check everything. I want you to go out there and check it all, every word, because mistakes are fast and furious with the chundering of, and it's not till later sometimes things are picked up. So use your due diligence. Everything we put out is for information purposes only. It is not legal advice. It is not vexatious, malicious. It is in direct correlation to we see it as, if there is harm, legally suffering, grammatically incorrect Anglo babble, suffering, hardship, going without, death, living below the poverty line, threats, intimidation, mitigating circumstances, vulnerability. All of these things are have defence mechanisms in law for you, but if you don't know of them, then Big Barry threatens and intimidates and pushes through. This landmass has become a mock with riffraff and licensed badger baiters, bullies, goons, mafioso. So if you are feeling and seeing this, this is why we are here, to protect and to serve. So some kind of disobedience will be needed to break and make out, from me, not from you, from us, to say there is a problem. We've sent the flare up. We're not starting a war or a democratic revolution, because it gets nowhere. To redeem yourself, to be going forward by repeating the same mistakes that have been made in history consecutively, eon after eon, and expect a different result, is insanity. For us to keep repeating and changing colours is insanity. Is it lunacy? Is it piracy? Is it all of the seas? There are seas afoot. We want to go on the land. We want to stand on the land, and we'll send out the drones into the sea with the remotes onto the instruments of the, implement the instruments, and we get them out there, and we'll have a good old showdown. A bit like that game, what was it now? Battleship. You sunk my battleship. That's right. We're going to remove all of the vessels that are docked onto, this landmass through the usurpation and subrogation, subjugating, and etc. of this fine landmass and its Christian, good-doing, God-worshipping, God-fearing creator, almighty high, whichever it is. I know a good 80% of you are that way inclined, and you do follow the law. You are not sinners, and the secular code has got us all in a mix. Everyone's lost the plot. Nobody knows nothing. We're having a mass torrent here, and there is deception afoot, danger, health and wealth, vulnerable ladies, children. So when we hear of this, we are going to commit. All right, UK, everybody under God, written, as is in the history books. There, God told me we got to bomb the freedom out of them. It's a holy war. There's no such thing. We won't fight. We will stand here and be chopped down and take the hits and the threats and the intimidation whilst we promote what we promote and build up the strength. So we have to protect the women and the children. There is no protection from the outside private corporations that are profit related driven, and not honourability, compassion, love, or anything like that, much like the benefit system. So man has to make a voice. We will start to interface and say hello, and we will take the hits. We will form the shield, and you will get behind us. You will back us up when people fall down, much like in Sparta. Okay, like the Adagio of Sparta. If ever you've heard classical music, please search out the Adagio of Sparta. Sparta, something like that. And when we fall and get hit, and I need to go and get repaired and bluster it, fix something up, plug it, get some gunpowder in, seal it, cauterize, get back up, then that's it. We're on the front line, but we need backup, we need endorsement, and we need to recognise our rights, our potential, and the prosperity and the abundance of which we're in. We're in abundance, and we're starving. Now that's insanity. We have more than what we need on this realm, but yet the legal construct and the deals and the Brexit and the ships and the boats are stopping us because we don't know who we are. So there's a quick answer, and if they're not going to tell us the truth, and they're not going to be honourable, and they're going to push more and label and digitise and quantum and AI and motorise and Kiva systems and climate change, well, then we'll go for a system change. Big up Matthew Sheffield. I'm going to try you now, and we're going to go through the comments, and I've said my bit. I've said enough. We've put enough out there. We've given enough evidence. We've given enough testimonies, and time is ticking. The games are afoot. It's 10 days, 11 days, something like that, I do believe. All right, so let me just answer G Star because he's just messaged me. He can maybe be seeing this, I don't know. I'll call him soon. So yeah, thank you to all that I've got in touch with. I'm going to be scattering about here, but yeah, that was I said a few names there. A guy called Jamie, I didn't say. He's come through with something very serious, something I'm very honoured to be. Someone's passed me on by word of mouth to do with asset protection of blood. So that's my point there. As I've said on the previous cast, the reason I got into this was because of High Court's ruling that I was possibly not going to be seeing my sons or daughters. It depends what property you have, offspring, assets, sons and daughters. So that's why I got into this. Yeah, Nick, aka Eric, I've done a shout to. Sister Carol, I've got to get back to. Josh, I still haven't touched base with. Fly on the Wall, Shabba, Barna B, and Sister M, and my brother Kev, I need to touch base with. And I think that's about it. We're all good. I've been in the emails, been on the .com. I am looking to create, much like Moses, Abraham. I'm not saying we are, we have faith the religions to one side. We're looking to make private agreements, covenants, trusts in general, expression of trust. I am set law. I'm putting out this channel, this account, liability, legal stuff, all of that. I'm casting. I'm giving you my updates and information. So I'm the set law, and you're benefiting by your passive learning, being a scribe of this channel, and interacting with me, putting me straight. You put, a two-way street, conversing, dialogue. Many words here for what we're doing, and then let me think. Set law beneficiary, and you trust me. You trust that I'm not running you round the houses. You trust that I'm not like Gary of the Davis clan, which is a terrorist and a disrespecter of rights. You trust that I'm just an idiot, a brother, and so forth. So, as we've pointed out to you, and as there is case law for, there don't need to be certain prerequisites, as you would imagine, for certain trusts. The assets, the property, the res is intellectual. It is the property of this video here by the phonics of my voice, as I've manifested, and it's there you go. So it is all related on inception, on layer on layer on layer. And we are happy, we are honoured, we are strong, we are pointed, ready, in this jet stream here. These energy, love, compassion, nothing, Smithy, Dave, anybody else, trying to, just repeating history. Those that do not learn and know history are doomed to repeat it. It's just incredible. There is abundance is the key, and we are starving. So no more starving, all right? No more plagiarizing, threatening, demanding, noticing, occupying, etc. Let's see who's in the house. I'll go to the other handset. I'm going to interact. Please give me a thumb up if I've entertained you, made you smile, give you something to think about. If you're new, let me know you're new. Tell me how you found us, what you're thinking. If you can cope with my speed and passion, energy, my cup runneth over. I was built like this for a reason. All of my past experiences lead me to this point. So they make me the way I am. And my scribes kind of like it. So slow me down if you need. I am working on that. And my caffeine intake. Jerry, he's a no. Quinn. Yes, agreed. Lux, hello there. I'm a member of the Brexit party. No problem. Thank you for being honest and giving this disclosure. You shall not be persecuted or anything for that. Not that there should be. Far right, far left, in the middles and all this business, It's all rubbish. Politics, politicking. I am the politic king. Lux, all right. So we're all good. Thank you. Bless you, sister. Nice to see you. And if you notice the letter colour, he become black when the serious fear. Yeah, well done, Quinn. Some psychological MK Ultra type detail to attention. Yes, Jerry, Quinn. Chatting. What is alter? When somebody mentioned about AKA, also known as, what came to me last night to bring to you today. Thank you, Brain. This is the silver and the non-fluoridation that does this. This was a thought at 9:30 last night whilst having a cigarette, to remember to mention on the next video that on the last video somebody mentioned AKA, also known as, and asked me some questions, and a thought came in as, why didn't you mention doing business as? AKA is more like the entertainment, showman, persona, bravado, alter ego type, anchorage of namesake. When you're doing business as D, Delta, Bravo, Alpha, you can invoice and do business as the all caps if you wanted to. Doing business as Mr. John Doe, all capital, yeah? Then therefore you've got your company, you've got that. So I thought I'll just chuck that in there as a little bit. I think it was Lux, or it was a lady, Sister Scribe, a queen that asked, and as your king's pleasure, Master Scholar David, I take pleasure in giving you to the point, to the minute, and I hope that that makes sense to others that aren't privy to that previous, but I've explained it well. So yes, very good. How are we? What are we saying? How are you feeling? HAPPY, reach for the sky, hyper, I'm the Pied Piper, look into my eyes and I'll hypnotize ya. Peace, love, and equity. Sky is the limit. Please don't answer my question with a question. Please answer the question first. It's called respect. What's happening there? Who are you speaking to? What's old to you? At Quinn. All right, what we doing here? You. Hey up, looks me. What's going on? What's Quinn saying? All good. Don't be um, a misunderstanding. We're all full of intelligence, love, and respect. So, looks, what's happening? We all good? I think there's just been a slight misunderstanding in the text because you can't tell the intent, inability to answer a simple question does not work in your favour. I'm out. Have a productive, well-meaning day. Everybody, something's up there. I don't know. Somebody enlighten me. I'm skimming. Is it me? If so, I didn't know. If it's someone else, what have you done? Did I say something wrong? I think, yeah. All right, let me get to the bottom in a minute. Nobody. There's Molly. You're welcome, my sister. We'll speak later. All right, I'm working my way. I'm chewing through the tasks. The pen is mightier than the sword. That is right. Grannies are super magic. Just the best. Grannies, no. Like mums will be grannies at some point, so it makes sense, David. Yeah, no, but I'm just saying at different times in life, mums know everything, and then yeah, it's no wonder. The female energy is coming back. That's what we get in here. These pale, stale, and males. My email box is getting hit up. I hear you all pinging or something's going off. Yes, Barnster. Cease and desist. That's the other one. Well said. Hogarth's come in with a cease and desist notice. That would be on in the files in the armory as well. I'll make sure that the resource library, equivalent of the armory, if it would be going into battle, metaphysically, metaphorically, not metaphysically. There you go. So nice one. In the Great British Mortgage Swindles class action. Oosh! One for the little ones, the underdogs and whatnot will become the champions. Two Hogarths get in. Excellent. Well done, fam. Perseverance is the key. Application, intent. Oosh. It doesn't happen overnight and it doesn't happen by chance. Alan, easy there, brother. I mentioned you if you haven't heard already. We're going to be touching. Stop saying that, David. We're going to be contacting each other and making waves. Doing that one on purpose. In the wake. The wake is the trail of water left behind a boat. In the wake of. In the wake. That's that, torrent that it leaves. Water. Again, randomly going back to watching such things as in Sweden, there are 70 something, I'm paraphrasing, you'll find out when you do this diligent searching that I've given you already. You will do eventually at some point in those video titles. This is in one of them. They use they use water, right? This is just for the ice rink. This isn't for drinking. This isn't for plants. This isn't for animals. This is for entertainment purposes only. And in Iceland, what the corporate retailers do, and if you know anyone with an ice rink, please forward your local ice rink details to me, and I'm going to contact them and propose this. I do realise I'm speaking on. I have hundreds of millions of ideas, and I do realise people steal and copy, but the universe looks after all, and those that are unethical do get dealt with. So anyway, ice rinks, water, Sweden, 70 odd roughly of them, round about there. Victor Schraubberger and his family and whatnot, and Austria. I've driven through Austria, Vienna, as you know, all of Europe, and seen a lot of these countries where Serbia, Bosnia, etc. Amazing. Just simple land masses, very ordinary, like ours here. But I just think, wow, there's so many massive inventors. Davey drifting, all right, coming back to water, ice rinks, Sweden, Austria, Vienna, all of these places, chatting, scientists, working, comparing, and what they're doing, Dave. Well, what's what they're doing? They're doing stuff with water. I'll let you find out. I won't do it all. I won't give it all away. In which makes it so that now, let's say that this machine used to take so many litres, and it used to, believe it or not, here's a weird thing. When you want water to freeze and you put in fresh water onto an ice rink, if you put cold water on, it takes longer to freeze than if you put hot water on. Now, if you put hot water on, instead of cold on an ice rink. It freezes quicker than cold. I know, don't. That's just how it is. So they say. I haven't put that to the test, but the thermic reactions are there for you to find. Now, this water can be heated up to about 40 degrees in the tank, and they might use, I don't know, 500 litres a day, a week, whatever, X amount of litres. We'll call it 500 litres a week, and it's 40 degrees it heats up to. Now, this is just for an ice rink. I say non-food, non-commercial, non-consumptive food, but commercial application for profits only. And these companies out there have got this Schrauberger technology with many things. There's not just one, there's lots of ways to do this with water, fractional and imploding and harmonizing and whatnot. And they do this process to it. And it means that the hot water now can go on at 20 degrees, not 40, and it still freezes quicker than cold, and it does what it should do, what it did before, but it's a lot better, and it lasts longer and it's harder. So now 70 odd ice rinks in Sweden now heating their water to 20 degrees, not 40, all right, for commercial profits only, not for plants. I'm not having a go at them, but I'm saying, for agriculture and other such things, water is amazing. Masaru Emoto and Schrauberger are my two top heroes in this realm now, connected to resonant Watson frequency and cymatics and intent. So why are we still blithering on with the waters and the pollutants and the toxics that come out of that tap, when I can tell you from the bedroom of a terraced house with no university, and yet we've got all these institutions and things and everything and people and health and Rockefeller Medical Institute and the Rockefeller such and such institute, and who owns these institutes and managed and governs. So we see you, councils, we see you, we feel you, and we're going to deal with you constructively, compel, and hold you to account. And we'll do it on an international scale. And the court system might be better off not being dealt with in England, because they're all corrupt and fraud and whatnot anyway. So we'll go international and we'll make noise about it and show every other continent what we're doing at the same time as we drag them to international criminal courts of such nature, under the covenants of the original almighty high creator, for the fact we conscientiously object to this. I'm going to swear, everybody. If you've got children in the room, I suggest this is your 10-second warning. Turn down the volume, put headphones in. Warning, dive. I'm going to swear. I'm going to politely swear. It's not going to be harsh, but we're going to show these. Here we go for swearing. You've had your warning. I've done my disclaimer. All right. But these dirty little shitbags, all right, is what they are. I'm going to help you protect. I'm going to help you notice. And we're going to go out to the community. We'll have community trust. We'll appoint. We'll operate in law. We'll hold to account. Dispel the spells. And alongside everything else that we're doing simultaneously, it will be our privilege and pleasure and honour. I will hold off submitting my legal person to go back into this corporate, sinful, commercial, deceitful, deceptive, love and war scenario. For what? For a 2-year retirement at the end of it all. For me to give, a bank manager, Anne-Marie's dad's, give us some fields in a will. All right, let's talk property titles and what's fair. Anne-Marie's dad's passed, as you know. He's left us some property in a will, in a trust, as she's an heir to some estate. She's a landowner, landlord. She's ended up getting rid of some property maybe and coming over and maybe want to invest it later down the line. Why should she then consider selling any property, if she was to consider such things as, and sell property and convert to sweat equity promises, and then bring that and invest and pay the fees, and then go to a bank manager and give them that for a deposit on something that is being brought out as fraudulent? So much like the UK government growing cannabis for medicine and beneficial uses, I'm going to swear again, please. I'm sorry. I'm going to call out. You're getting a 5-second warning, because I'll go off track and forget. Again, I'm sorry. Just I'll put notices on saying warning swearing after this, but I'm calling out more bullshit. All right, this is really hypocrisy gone mad. Years and years of criminality. All right, yeah, it's criminal offence. We know that that's not really a crime, and it's just Roman, pagan, divided, nonsensical corporate crown revenue generating off such things as organic compounds. But there you go. Before the super skunks and whatnot, years and years of persecution, the Rastafari, one love to all. Somebody mentioned old pirates yesterday, Rabbi. Well, yeah, much love. This is it. And all these years of persecution and, nonsensical fines, fees, levy, forfeits, paperworks, and all of this crap that's gone off for them now to use one of their own corporate elite, greedy, nasty, deceitful, political agents of the sea there, of the United Kingdom, to help them grow cannabis on this landmass under license, they say, and then ship it out for medicinal purposes elsewhere. CBD, THC, it just makes, so enough is enough. Harm, injury, and loss that has transpired through failings and belligerent lies and deceptive scientific, medical, associational, institutional, contrived harm and whatnot. Crimes have gone off, and crimes have gone off big time. So we are not idiots. We are not violent, and we are not going to go out on the street and make a mess, because they're our streets and we need them. All right. The more damage we do, the more we'll have to rebuild. So there's already enough to be doing. As for the Pope, the House of God, and everything else, and diplomats, you see how it runs out there. So we're not happy. We're not safe. We're not being told the truth. We're not criminals. We're not sinners. We're winner. All right. I'm not sure about the dinner part, but we are winners. We are not sinners. We are not pirates. We are not lunacy here. You are given. You're all walking central banks. Yeah. So again, Extinction Rebellion and what they're doing. Let's have a chat. SPLSPRO.com. I've answered emails at david@splspro.com. Anybody with any ideas that wants support, wants to get together privately, have chats and liaise, look at options, fundamental, preemptive chats to do with options and how you would compel and be aware that ones are funded to get in the public, to divert, to propose, and to not give. And distract, sideshows, distraction tactics are afoot, lest you not be deceived, is what I'll put there. So I want to give a shout out to a man called Steve as well, and the fam, I'll be remembered. It's been a recent addition up that way. Peter, everybody, Andy, I think they're all together today. Shabba, much love. Easy now. What else have we got? I'm going to do admin, more catching up. I'm finishing off the 105-page document for the layman, self-initiates guide, introduction and outline to trusts. More or less 100% of all trusts, 95%. What isn't there isn't worth knowing. It is going to be polished off. We got Brother Barnster going through that with his queen. And I have a lot of interaction happened from those names mentioned. I thank you for that. I can't interact with everybody that comes through immediately. There will have to be some kind of a queue system, priority. I am not representatory service. It's information to help you in your time until we find emissaries, ambassadors, ways and means and resources to go on the road continually, and then set up the private community trust, their agreement, covenant, pact, and move forward as we are entitled to do. The only reason you haven't done this and you don't know about it, this simple, effective, honourable safeguard from the legal claims on your persons, from the constitutional banking constitution and etc., is because if you did know about this, there's not a lot else they could have done. So short of crowbarring the City of London out of London town, this is the next best thing until we come to a happy medium. Having international spotlight on this land is excellent right now, because any type of attention brought to this landmass will be echoed. Unfortunately, not like Hong Kong and China, which is not getting echoed. That's coming here. Anybody that's up on the quantum 5G AI supersession on rights for the Chinese and the land of Hong Kong, city provinces of Asia, I'm sorry. Terminator, a new film just being released. You get me? Fourth Industrial Revolution is on, yo, and we're on it. So Ice Cube,
giving out to you. I watched a film now, Ride Along 2. I've just reviewed that. I am disgusted, sickened. Well, I remember when I was a wee glint in my dad's eye. No, not that wee, but it's just come to Sheffield. I think it was about 91. There was some Ice Cube tape going around. That's right, fam. We didn't have MP3 Android. It weren't even a phone in man's hands or vicinity. It was a tape cassette player, and I think it was Ice Cube where he came on a tape and said FC UK, the FBI, the CIA, the police, the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, the GCHQ. He said all of you blow you. And remember how he started, how aggressive and how standoffish it was. And when I look at Ice Cube and I see these films and I see what he's doing, how he's representing with his black equity card. Money is no object for this man. I do believe I'm making claims. No, I'm not. I'm just telling you what I see. Musicians, popularity, iconic, representative figure, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, sellout, commercialization, got love for the street. I don't know about that. Eminem and the anger of the millions of white mans then wanting to go into black mans, darker skinned brothers, but they see waste mans everywhere. It's a contrived. Ride Along 2, very very poor. Even the new Dave Chappelle on the streaming thingy of flicks of the net of is not highly recommended by me. I think that's a 2019 one that I saw. Chappelle something, but I look, Chappelle's still on it, but he's not. You can tell he's getting tired. I'd like a chat with him. Big up to him and much love. I'm not criticising Chappelle. I'm just seeing these men are getting tired. Some are selling out. The ones that are in it on their own, he's represented. He's done well. He's had a lot. I'm surprised he's still, repping as he is. Others hysterical. So I just thought, what I saw in that film, bum, bikini, Miami or something, Florida Beach, just a second or so. I'm like, oh, there's the bum programming. Very, very bad in many ways, and just selling out. How much is your price? What is your price? How much does it take to man to sell out? Notice for me, I'll take the bullet any day than take the gold. The only true currency man has, Cube and all the other hip hop genre iconic sellouts that have lost their way. Trust is the only true currency. Bonds, words, and thank you all for that time that you've given me. Any feedback you can give via the Book of Faces, your own testimonies about me, interaction, the.com, how you feel. I'd like you to go out and help us promote this private trust, non-sinful, objective voice that we have. The Voice, hear my voice. The Voice isn't a singing show. It's a occupation on YouTube, an occupation, a hobby. You see, occupations and military functions, so we won't have one of them, will we? No, we will not. But The Voice, it's not just a singing show. We've got millions of singers. We've got no diplomats. We've got no law, structure. We've got no intelligence. And much like Team America, like their defense systems crashing and losing navigation and hurtling out, careering out of the sky, falling, these systems are being brought down by what used to be icons that stood for truth. And you gotta fight for your right to party. You ain't got to fight for your right to play. You kind of have now these days, but we, the party, are not the defendant. And hear this, there's a new track being put on the Technics. We've got rid of all the artists. We've changed the record. We've pressed a new track. And can you dance to my beat, to my beat, to my beat, to my beat, as you stand. I love that tune. I don't know. I think it's by Blaze. I think if you go on YouTube and search To My Beat, Blaze, it's a tune that if you're not a good experienced DJ, I believe it starts on Offbeat, which is beat number 2. And it's a very, very unique old collector type, Pioneer Record Club collector track. To My Beat, I'm going to have to tell you the right name of it now. And it starts on beat 2, and if you just rush it and you don't listen and you don't know, you'll clash it. You'll start on beat 2 and match beat 2 with beat 1 on the other one playing. in the consciousness. Here we go. Let me see what the just random, but that's what we're doing. Remix, Blaze featuring Palmer Brown, My Beat, Ambassador remix. I'm going to go for this one. Slip and Slide record label. That's one from back in the day. Here we go. Well, thank you for that. Get rid of me adverts. Look at it now. Corporation. Let's see how it starts. We'll do a little bit. 8 seconds before we hit copyright. Let me go for. Here we go. Get it right.
As we dance to a beat that seems out of time, to the one you feel in the metronome of your mind.
The metronome of your mind.
That our rhythm looks strange or causes your thinking to be rearranged. Could it be that you would understand this beat to which we dance more clearly had you been given a chance?
Given a chance. Now listen to that. As you struggle to find your feet, ask yourself, fam, can you dance to our beat? To our beat? Yes, I. And that's what we're doing. A cross-pollination. Cross-pollination, not for the nation, but for salvation. So we'll leave it at that. If you'd like to search Blaze featuring Palmer Brown, My Beat, the Ambassador remix. That's what we're talking about there. I'm going. I'll try Sheffield now. I did say Matthew I'd try him. I do try him regularly. He just doesn't answer, drops out. We'll see. Just bear with me. I'll not put him on speakerphone yet. I'll do him the courtesy of telling him we're live. Then, if he doesn't answer, we'll catch up with the comments and I'm off. Oh, I've got to go and pick up the Queen. It's a good timing. Just got a text through from our Queen, look. So I'm going. Much love to you. Thank you. Maybe back tomorrow morning. The Artful Remedy Club, ARC. We maybe crack on with that, and I'll be online later again after I've picked up the Queen. Speaking to Molly, Papillon and Alan, I think, emailing Carol, and we're done. So the rest I'll be in touch tomorrow. And David at SPLSPRO for my private email. You can use generic email, contact@splspro.com, and you go to our homepages if you are fortunate enough to have lots of promises and some that you might want to let us utilise to help. Ciao bello, much love. See you soon.